Hello, friends. Delighted to welcome you to our very inspiring series, My Avatar, My Identity. And in this episode of My Avatar, My Identity, we bring you a lady who's India's number one business books author. She hit her stride at the young age of 23, and then there was just no looking back. Her books have sold a record 1.2 million copies and got translated into over 12 languages, including Korean and Vietnamese. She urges you to stay hungry and stay foolish. And with that giveaway, I'm sure you would have guessed that this time we have for you none other than Rashmi Bansal. Welcome to the show, Rashmi, and it's fantastic having you with us here today on the My Avatar, My Identity show.
Yeah, thank
And
you, Sandal. Yeah.
thank you. And I'm going to ask the question, which is, I'm sure, on the top of mind of all our audiences. How did you become that best selling author? Everyone wants to become one. Everyone, I've written a book to everyone wants to be the kind of amazing success that you have been as an author. So, my question to you is this: how did you become that author? What was that journey to your identity?
Well, as Mr. Narayan Murthy once said, the journey of overnight success, it takes 20-25 years. So that's my story. I started writing when I was a student at Sophia College in Mumbai. And it started in a very small way when I wanted to get my article published in the Times of India. Just it was my dream to see my name there.
Yeah.
And that's where I started my freelance writing career. I got rejected many, many times before I first got published in Times of India. And I often show that picture to students to say that, look, you have to persist, you have to believe in yourself.
Mm.
And I went on also to have a pretty different career because I then went to IIM Ahmedabad but didn't take the placement because I was convinced that I want to do something in the field of writing and not uh, you know go and take up a corporate job and then get sucked into that rat race.
While of course you knew you had the passion, to be a writer, and that was the identity you want to pursue, how did you deal with failure when you kept getting rejected before you published Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, which went on to change things completely? How did you deal with failure?
Well, I worked for just 2 years for the Times of India newspaper, and then I started my own publication. I used to bring out a magazine called Jam, Just Another Magazine. So
Okay.
it was a very popular youth magazine, which featured the writing of students from all over the country. More than 300 colleges of India, we had contributors.
Okay.
So I think my whole approach has always been to give other people a voice and other people a platform because I myself struggled to get it initially. And then I thought, well, everyone won't be as persistent as me. I think I had collected 41 rejection slips by the time I got published first. So I created that platform, and I think, nurturing other writers and building that helped me to write my first book, Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, because I knew that if I want this book to appeal to young people, it should not be preachy and boring and, tell them do this, do that. I just told it in a pure storytelling form, not as a case study. So that was my instinct. It was not what I was told to do or given a brief or direction, but I feel that this is what is needed today. We need stories which can inspire young
Yes.
people.
Rashmi, I wanted to ask you something. See, you have written about real live people in all your books. You've written about social entrepreneurs. You've written about entrepreneurs, people who have broken the odds. Um, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people who came up to you and said that, your book changed their life in some way or the other. People who have read your books. Can you share any one such experience where either Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, or Connect the Dots, or any of the books made such an impression on anybody?
Yeah, I think I've been very fortunate. I think my very first book, I remember the first email which I got was the title said, I read your book and I quit my job. So that
Wow.
when I realized the power of a story. And that's, I think, the reason why I've written so many books. People ask me, why are you writing on the same subject? I said, because, these stories need to be told and everyone wants to hear a story about someone like me. So if I write a book like Take Me Home, it's for these students from these smaller towns of India who somehow have an inferiority complex. हमारे इधर नहीं हो सकता है कुछ भी. And I
Mm.
used to travel there, they used to think, okay, I have to go to a big city and work. But I saw that there is a reverse trend and reverse possibility, right? Wherein you can set up a very interesting business with a lot of scale and potential in a smaller town. So I wrote that book called Take Me Home.
Now is the time when young people seem to really require a lot of inspiration, Rashmi. There are lots of companies that have rescinded job offers. The whole country is going into not only the country, the entire world is going into a period of recession, probably has already gone into it. And a lot of young people are today, especially the ones who are looking at, starting off their careers, they are struggling to discover their identity. As someone who has so much of experience of writing to this audience, of addressing this audience, what would you tell them now? What would you tell this typical B school kid who got a great offer out of campus, but that offer is rescinded now? What would you tell her or him?
I think the battle of success is won in your mind. So you have to really spend this period strengthening your own inner, resilience, your own inner power. You have to, activate that. So it would be, of course, natural to feel depressed and so on. But then that's not going to help you in the longer run. So if we look at it as a 1 or 2 year break, it's not
Mhm.
a lot in the lifetime of a career, and things will bounce back. And are you going to be ready at that time? Would you have had some new skills in your kitty? Would you have certain attitudes, certain ways of thinking? So if you can get through this crisis, you can get through anything, and I think that's what
Mhm.
companies are looking for. So it's a fabulous time to learn something new. It could even be a new language, could be a new hobby, could be, if you want to write, you want to learn a new coding language, anything, because you never know what comes in handy at which time. Whatever I'm doing today in terms of writing, when I'm writing fiction, I'm actually drawing on all the travels and all the experiences I've had in my entire lifetime, the people I've met, the books I've read. I mean, that's how I function as a writer. And even if you're a manager or you're a leader,
Yes. Yeah.
you're going to use all the experiences of your life to actually, do your job well. So whatever you're going through, we're all going through it. So don't lose hope. I think that's the basic message.
Writing is a tough, demanding, energy sucking kind of activity, because your brain cells have to be constantly working. And for any woman professional in India today, holding a job which is super demanding, which exacts that energy out of her, is a tough challenge. How do you integrate work and life, Rashmi? How do you manage both sides of your personality?
I mean, first of all, I don't find writing to be a energy drain. I think
Okay.
it's opposite. I would
I'll
find
take that back. I'll take that
Yeah,
back.
I would
Yes.
find accounting to be an energy drain for me. I mean, because I am not a number oriented person. So I
Yes.
think if
Yes.
you find the thing that you really love to do, then really
Right.
it doesn't seem like a strain, first of all.
Okay.
Secondly, it's not about the number of hours you write. In writing, like, I mean, a lot of work is going on in your mind. It's, sometimes um, you cannot, you of course have to have a discipline, but on the other hand, you cannot do it 9 to 5. Sometimes I might want to write late in the night, early in the morning. So you can choose your time flexibly. Okay, that's an advantage. And when you're in flow, then that work gets done quite quickly, right? So you have that advantage. It's not something where you have to put in 12 hours a day. I feel
True.
is
Right.
that's my experience. And you have to
Okay.
have other things going on, other experiences of life to be able to write. Okay. And of course, I would say that I am very fortunate to have a very good home manager. I call her a home manager, who has been with me for many years now, and she manages the daily grind of my home. I really am not
Okay.
a kitchen person, or I really don't do much of the things that maybe other women enjoy. I don't mind doing it occasionally for some special occasions, but I don't
Okay.
take on that responsibility. I think all of us cannot be perfect in every field.
I think that was so honest, so forthright, and brilliant. And I think, it's about prioritizing and about doing what you definitely love. And my very last question to you, Rashmi, uh, when you are talking about loving writing, and saying that, if you discover something that you love, then you never work a single day in your life. That's what they say. Can you take us back to that moment when you discovered that you just love writing? As a young girl, maybe?
I mean, I was always conflicted about, whether writing can be a career. Of course, I loved writing, but I never knew that I could make a career out of it. So in IIM Ahmedabad, we have a course called ERI. It's called Exploring Roles and Identity. And we go to somewhere outside the campus for 4 days. We've gone to a beach in Gujarat and we spent 4 days there. And we go through this kind of a self-discovery process. At the end of it, I realized that a lot of my decisions I'm not taking for myself. I wanted to please my father. I wanted to do things others were doing. So in college, I took up economics, though I wanted to study literature. Then I was getting a job in journalism, but I went for MBA. So finally, over there at that retreat, I realized that I have to do what I really want to do in life, even if it doesn't make other people happy. And I did that. Of course, initially there was a kind of a shock that how can you go to IIM and not take a placement? And but my father never stopped me. He was always worried for me, and he used to feel, okay, I don't know, will she really manage? And it's a smart thing to do. She could have got a very well-paying job, but 2 years ago, he actually acknowledged in a very formal way. He wrote an email to me and said, I'm very proud of you and it's the right decision. And, today people know me as Rashmi Bansal's father. Uh, so I think it's about believing in yourself and also not looking for a very immediate result. Okay.
Oh,
So,
that's so powerful. That's so powerful, Rashmi. Not look for an immediate result, but keep loving what you do. That's just fantastic. Rashmi, thank you so much. Fabulous having you with us.
thank
Your usual warm, generous self, and just sharing everything that you believe is important for the youth of India, as you always have. Thank you so much for being on the My Avatar, My Identity show. Thank
Thank
you.
This is my avatar, my identity. My message is stay hungry, stay foolish, dream big, and make all your dreams come true.
What I loved about Rashmi Bansal's interview to My Avatar, My Identity is the fact that she was clear about what she didn't want to be, and that led her to what she really wanted to be, a great writer. And I also absolutely loved the point that she made about how even creativity requires discipline. I mean, we all have this notion of, authors just writing suddenly and just inspiration hitting them from somewhere. I'm sure it does, but it also requires us to be disciplined in order to receive that inspiration. With those words, I hope you like and share this video and subscribe to Avatar Women on YouTube, and take care and stay safe.